Raila is just about to be made co-president, and I even dare to say that should these arrangements come to pass, Raila will not just be a co-president, but he'll be more powerful than President Ruto in that particular arrangement.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the backstory. Now, ladies and gentlemen, reports reaching us is that former Prime Minister Raila Odinga today met with the former President Uhuru Kenyatta in Malindi. Raila has been moving around the country from one county to another, meeting ODM leaders, elected leaders, and officials, trying to get their opinion on the pact that apparently they are working on with the sitting president, President William Ruto.
Nikuja leo maana kijana vile navijua nilikuwa Mombasa, na hii ni kwa sababu ya mimi kwenda kushauriana na wanachama wetu wa chama chetu cha ODM Kenya mzima, ili kwanza nijue hali iko shida ambayo ni wakabili, na vile tuongea juu ya suluhu ya mambo yao yote. Sasa jana tulikuwa Mombasa, leo hapa vile governor amesema, nimekuja na nimewaeleza swala nyeti, na wao wenyewe wakatoa maoni yao, viongozi hao wote wakasema shida iko hapa kiuchumi, wananchi wanaumia, hali ya maisha, gharama ya maisha imepanda, ushuru iko juu, kupani matibabu, hii mambo ya SHA bado haijafanya kazi sawa sawa.
Now, there are reports in the Standard newspaper that are saying, that is today's Standard newspaper, that are saying that the ODM leader Raila Odinga is nearing a pact with President William Ruto in a power sharing pact that could see Raila assume an non-executive prime minister's role. And in that pact, it's reported that Harambee House office, which is the executive office of the president, is being prepared for Raila. And I think that is what has created a lot of curiosity in the former president Uhuru Kenyatta, to try to know what kind of arrangement the two have, that is Raila Odinga and President William Ruto. Because if you look at that role which they are preparing for him, which is a non-executive prime minister, you look at it as Raila is being shortchanged in a way. Because as things stand right now, just like the Kiambu senator said, it's like President William Ruto's government is hanging on the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga for survival.
Raila is just about to be made co-president, and I even dare to say that should these arrangements come to pass, Raila will not just be a co-president, but he'll be more powerful than President Ruto in that particular arrangement. And why do I say that? I say that some because as we speak, as things stand now, President Ruto has no other plan other than hanging on Raila Amolo Odinga. And so whatever Raila asks, he will get it from William Ruto. And if allow me again, my friend, Honorable Jane Kagiri, has of course explained why we need to, to co-opt Raila Amolo Odinga into government, and whatever arrangement may be under the NADCOL, recommendations. And of course, our argument is true that we need to be inclusive in government, and that Raila controls or had, a total vote that was almost half of the total vote cast in 2022.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, just as you've heard, so many pundits are asking why Raila would get into such a deal with President William Ruto. Because if you look at it, who is going to gain in this deal? If it's true that President William Ruto is hanging on to the former Prime Minister for his survival, or for his political survival, then it means he should have ceded more ground by giving him more executive roles. Because for someone to get an executive role, the problem here is this is an office which is not enshrined in the Constitution. So, and the roles are not clearly defined. So when he gets into office, which roles or which job is he going to do? And let's take, for example, if we say that he's going to be given an executive prime minister's position, that is already a tall order, because one, for such a position to be created, it means we have to go to a referendum. And that will take forever for it to be realized. So it will be like kind of President William Ruto trying to buy time with the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. And Ruto and Raila know very well the current situation in the country. They know that if they are to call a referendum, both of them will definitely lose. So I think, in my thinking, that is why the former President Uhuru Kenyatta met Raila Odinga, so as to try and understand this deal into details. And what are the benefits? Because remember, Uhuru is still the leader of Azimio, if I'm not wrong. And for Raila to get into such a deal, you'd want to look at the pros and cons of that deal. How are they going to benefit? Is it going to be something that is going to benefit ODM only? Or is there a way other parties can benefit out of it? Because, you know, in any political scheme, like what we're talking about right now, where you have your opponent as injured, as the way the current president is injured politically, you have to maximize and get the best out of that deal. So many pundits have said that Raila is a very poor when it comes to bargaining for political gains when he's getting into a deal. Look at what happened during the handshake government that they did with the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. Raila's diehard fans did not benefit out of that deal. So many people, because he did not get CS positions, he did not get permanent secretary. I think he got very few permanent secretary positions. But when it comes to matters development, did his regions or the people who back him or who support him, did they benefit in one way or the other? That is a no. So it could be another way of being shortchanged in this deal. And that is why so many people are worried, because what is the benefit of all this? At the end of it, Raila will carry the burden of this government. He will carry the failures, just like he did with the Jubilee government's failures, whereby President Uhuru Kenyatta avoided carrying the burden of Jubilee failures and heaped them on Raila. The same will happen with the failures of President William Ruto. And at the end of it is the one who is going to come out with a bloody face. So in all this, if you look at it, what has been written in the Standard newspaper is talking about President William Ruto thinking of having an arrangement for a position of an executive prime minister position, which will be created for Raila by an act of parliament. It's like implementing the NADCO report in a clever way. Okay, that can be created. Or in another way, what they can do, they can tell the current Prime Cabinet Secretary, who is Musalia Mudavadi, to shelve one of the positions, because currently Musalia Mudavadi is holding two roles, that is the position of the Prime Cabinet Secretary and the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs. So he has two roles. So President William Ruto could ask him to do what? To shelve one position for Raila. But is this position coming with executive powers? Can he be overruled by the president? Because look at how the current government is working. It's like a one-man show. The cabinet secretaries and the PSs have no free hand to make decisions. It's like everything is being micromanaged. So imagine a situation whereby you've shelved your ambitions and your role of checking the government, then you get into a system whereby you are being controlled or being micromanaged by the president in the name of being the prime cabinet secretary. So there should be very clear definition of roles. What is he going to do if he takes up that position? Are there defined roles? Because you can't be a prime cabinet secretary just by name. Do you have the powers to even coordinate what is happening in different ministries? Can you summon cabinet secretaries and have meetings and try and coordinate so that you have a working system being coordinated by the prime cabinet secretary? That is not possible. So why would he take such a position? So I think their meeting with the former president Uhuru Kenyatta was like President Uhuru Kenyatta wanted to try and understand what is it in this deal and how they're going to benefit out of it. Because if it is not handled carefully, then it means both of them, that is all of them, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, who has nothing to lose per se in this deal, he only has more to gain out of it, because for him, he can have his friends or subordinates or his supporters getting positions. But whenever there is a backlash, he has nothing to lose at the end of it. The people who are going to lose are the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who has gotten into this deal with both of his legs, and the current President Uhuru Kenyatta. So if there is a backlash, how do they handle that? So ladies and gentlemen, we'll keep monitoring what's going on in the country. I believe that by tomorrow we'll get to know some details about what they discussed and what they came up with as their final decision towards that coalition that is being crafted by the former Prime Minister and the President William Ruto. So until next time, bye-bye.